Okay, get on your feet. We're going to sing Lighthouse. Is Lighthouse first? Okay. Whew. Grace, Ben, Caitlin, Madison, junior guides, come up front for actions, please. Grace and Grace. Okay, yep. In my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are peace in my troubled sea. In the silence, you won't let go. In the questions, your truth will hold. Your great love will lead us through. You are peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. Yay, stay on your feet. We're going to sing This Little Gospel Light of Mine. Make sure you don't hurt your neighbor when you do the actions or when you're running around. Here we go. Well, this little gospel light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 this little gospel light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 this little gospel light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine all the time. Hide it under a bushel. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine all the time. Won't let Satan it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 won't let Satan it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 won't let Satan it out. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine all the time. All around the neighborhood, I'm Okay, time for a deep breath. Slow things down a bit. Think about those people in your life or yourself who need some extra prayers or joyful thanksgivings. Thanks for passing out note cards and pens. So at this point, I'd like you to just not have any more conversation with your neighbor and just have some quiet time to think about what you would like to write on your prayer card. And then bring those to the basket. Okay. Do you remember my image of, oh, I forgot my image. It was blow out a candle. What was the inhale? Thank you. Smell the flowers. Blow out the candle. Just helps you to take a deeper breath. That's, and I love imagery. Thank you for helping with it. Oh, sometimes we all need a little help, don't we? Okay, so close your eyes. If it helps you, smell a flower. And blow out a candle. Center yourselves. Just calm your body. Try to maybe put both feet on the floor. Helps you feel a little bit more grounded. Try to shut out any thoughts from the day or worries that you have. And let's pray. Lord, we know that we can bring anything to you, and yet sometimes we forget that, or we're too afraid to pray the prayers that we have, or the concerns, or the anger, or whatever emotion we're feeling. I pray all these prayers that we lift up tonight that as they are spoken, that you would hear them, give us comfort, and also any prayers that we have unspoken in our hearts, that you would hear those as well. God, I pray for those going through a loss, anybody struggling, and I pray for a great year. I'm thankful for family, friends, food, water, house, and education. I pray to do well in school, and I pray for anyone that's homeless, for the wars in Israel and Ukraine. I pray for those struggling and the less fortunate. I pray for my friends to do good on their tests. I pray for my family and my dog. Lord, I pray for my dad's chemo as his last dose approaches in February, and for his radiation, that it goes well after that. Thank you for pets and good friends. Pray, God, for confidence in our guides to lead these awesome youth. And I pray for a friend to make weight, for wrestling. I pray for my math test tomorrow, and I pray for anyone experiencing homelessness. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer.
Lord, I pray for those impacted by the upcoming cold temperatures. Pray for my test to go well and my friend's mom to be well. I pray for my mother and for all the tests I have this week. I pray for those impacted by the cold temperatures and that they find a place to stay warm. I pray they be with friends who are dealing with cancer treatments. I pray my neck pain goes away, and I pray for those with mental illnesses. Lord, in your mercy,
hear our prayer. I pray to make weight in wrestling. I pray to keep good grades. I pray that everyone has time to find their true friends and make more. I pray for my grades to be good and my family to be healthy. I pray for my friend to make weight. I pray for my grades, family, and friends. I pray for my health to stay well and to feel a little better. I pray for health, safety, and good grades. God, I pray for my friend and her family who just lost their dog. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer.
Lord, I pray for hope and peace with the Dahl family following a tragic accident involving 3 of their boys. I pray that my cat will live joyfully in heaven. I pray that everyone stays healthy. I pray that I get good grades. I pray for my friends. I pray for the homeless to find a home. I pray for everyone to do well in school and to stay safe. Pray that our game goes well tomorrow. I pray for everyone's health and that we have a good game tomorrow. I pray for Aiden while he recovers from his injury. And I pray for good mental health and good physical health. Lord, in your mercy,
hear our prayer. God, sometimes it's hard to believe in you. When we can't see you, we can't touch you. Sometimes it's hard to even feel you. So I pray for those youth that might be struggling to believe in you tonight. I pray that my camp goes well and people smile this week. I pray that I do good on my math test, and I pray for my grandma. I pray to at least get a B on my math test. I pray to do good on my upcoming tests and quizzes. I pray for everyone to drive safely, for safe travel as the roads progressively get more icy. God, I pray that my mental health gets better and that anyone else struggling finds happiness. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer.
Pray that I do well in school. Pray I do well on my math test. Pray that I get a good grade on my math and AP human geography tests. Pray for good grades. I pray for all the homeless people and for people without food. I pray that I get an A on my next AP test. I pray for people who are sick to get better. I pray for everyone who is struggling with the loss of a loved one. Lord, I pray that you help guide me as I begin this new journey in my life. Lord, in your mercy,
hear our prayer. God, I pray for all who need shelter and for everyone to get good grades. And I pray that my grades get better.
God, I pray that you be with anybody who's sick or waiting on test results tonight, that you would be with them in their anxiety sometimes as we wait for results on things. I pray for families that have found out recent diagnoses of cancer or any other health struggle. Be with them, comfort them, give them peace. I pray for anybody that's dealing with just even common illnesses. It's hard to miss school and work sometimes, and just hard to slow down, but help us to take time to get better and just take some time to rest and to focus on you. All these things, God, we lift up, and we know that you hear our prayers spoken and unspoken. So help these youth to know that you're always with them. And all God's children said,
Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Couple announcements tonight. This Friday is Friday Night Lights. So I changed the sign-up deadline to like 3 p.m. It just helps me to have enough time to order pizza. So come Friday, if you're able to, 7 to 10 p.m. The link is always the same, so sign up there. I'll send it out by email again on Thursday. March 17th, we have a big event coming up. It's our youth fundraiser to support our summer trips. This summer we have 6 youth going to the Boundary Waters in July. We just got the dates picked, that's exciting. And we have 20-some youth, we keep adding a couple youth here and there, going to Chicago in June. And so this fundraiser in March, it's actually St. Patrick's Day, is going to support those youth going on summer trips. Each year we've reached out to our confirmation students to consider as a group making some sort of a basket or having some sort of a donation. So you can talk about that as your small group tonight. There are donation forms in the office if you need some ideas, or talk to some of the other adults maybe that have done it before. But you could do, for example, a fishing basket and everybody brings a lure, or you could do any sort of theme, right? Like I've seen baking ones and different things. The thing I will say is that if they get too large and expensive, they don't sell as well. It's almost better to have a couple smaller ones, because the more expensive they get, people will look at them and be like, well, I already have that and that and that, so I'm not going to bid on that one. But if they're smaller little baskets, a lot of times kids will even get excited about them, like maybe a gift certificate to the theater with a couple boxes of candy in a basket. You know, just be creative, but try to keep them where they're not over $100, right? They get harder to bid on. But this event really helps our kids to go on these trips, and hopefully you will go on one of these trips in the future, or are going this summer. So support our kids, and also if you're in town that day, come and check it out, because it's a lot of fun. We have a spaghetti dinner and an auction and just a lot. It goes from like 2 to 7 p.m., okay? There is a lock-in I just found out about that's at Wood Lake Lutheran Church in Richfield. It's this Sunday night into Monday, MLK. We would leave at 6:15 p.m. here at church, and I'd need one other adult driver with me. I said we need at least 10 in order to go, but it starts at 7 p.m. at this Wood Lake Lutheran Church in Richfield. I know the 2 pastors there. There's kids from other, all around the Twin Cities that are going, but there's like inflatables, pizza, movies, games, and it goes from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Now, we're not going to be up all night long. You do have to bring a sleeping bag and a pillow. We'll have an area that we'll get some sleep, but it'll be a night of fun and fellowship. I would want at least 10 kids from our church if we're going to do it. So I need to know by tomorrow, so talk amongst your friends. I would take a group, and I would be there the whole night, if we had enough people that were interested, okay? That's this weekend. So I need to know by tomorrow. Okay.
Oh,
what did I forget?
Bible camp.
What?
Bible camp.
Bible camp registration opens on the 15th. So they were here last week. Our camp staff answered a lot of great questions, but that's coming up a week from Monday, right? The 15th.
No, this Monday.
Oh, it's this Monday. It's the 10th. 5 days away. So that's when the registration opens. You are allowed to register for any week, talk to friends, talk to someone that's gone to camp, talk to the adults in your life. They may have had a kid that has gone. Super fun week of games and campfires and free time and swimming and Bible study and worship and all the, a week with friends in a cabin with, you'll definitely be with kids from your church. So even if you signed up and you didn't know anybody else that was going, you would be with other youth from our congregation. Boys and girls are in different cabins, of course, but and then you would have other kids from other congregations in with you with two counselors. So, questions about camp? It's about a 2-hour drive to Wisconsin to this camp. It's a great place. It's beautiful. Like they said, it has water on all sides. It's on a peninsula. Okay?
All right. And this is a faith question for tonight. If we are all born as children of God, what is the point of baptism? Good question. And there was a time when people thought and taught that if you want to be saved, you have to be baptized. If you're baptized, you're going to be saved. If you're not going to be saved. And so that was the whole point of baptism, is make sure you're going to get saved. But there are some problems with that, because I have been in situations where I've gone to the hospital where a baby has been born stillborn or died just shortly after birth before somebody could get there, and the little baby couldn't be baptized. And it's like, I don't think God is saying to that baby, you can't be saved. And then you've also got the thing of all these people who never had a chance to be baptized and to believe in Jesus, who lived in India or South America or wherever thousands of years ago. Well, what about those people? So I don't think that's a very good way to think about it. I think better to look at it this way. 2 things. Why do we baptize? Because Jesus told us to. That's the first reason. When just before he ascended into heaven, he said, go to all nations and baptize people. So we do what Jesus said. So he says baptize. But baptism is more like it's a very public, tangible way where God says, you are my child, and I love you with an everlasting love, and that's never going to change. And so Martin Luther was the founder of our Lutheran church, and great Christian, but there were times when he really doubted whether God loved him, because he knew he was imperfect and he didn't do everything right. And whenever he would have those doubts and those fears, he would just remind himself, I am baptized. I'm a baptized child of God, and that's God's way of saying, I love you. You are my child. And so what is helpful that way is when you wash up in the morning, take a shower or whatever, and you're under the shower head, is to just make the sign of the cross as a reminder that you're a baptized child of God as you begin the day. It's like, I am loved. I am God's. Okay? Probably the best analogy I can give you is this. Okay? 45 years ago, Cynthia and I got married, and when we were at the altar at Emmanuel Lutheran in Twin Falls, Idaho, we said our vows to each other. I take you for better, for worse, in sickness and health, rich or poor, as long as we both shall live. And then, as kind of a tangible, visible, something you can see and touch, we exchanged rings. And when we did, we said something like, I give you this ring as a sign of my love and faithfulness. And so, whenever I see this, I'm reminded, okay, that Cynthia and I are soulmates, that we are in this together no matter what happens, and that we love each other dearly and deeply, and I love Cynthia more now than I ever did, okay? And so baptism is kind of like a wedding ring. It's like you don't need this, okay? But it's a good reminder to have, okay, wherever you're at. So baptism is kind of like that. If you ever wonder, does God really love me? Can God love me? I'm so imperfect. I do things wrong. I mess up. Just remember you're baptized. And that's God's way of saying there's nothing you can do that will make God love you any more, and there's nothing you can do that will make God love you any less. God loves you the same all the time. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think that's the only question I had. So I think we're
Okay.
ready to.
So we're doing things a little bit different tonight. I'm
move.
staying in with 7th and 8th grade for teaching, and Pastor Bruce is going with 9th grade to living room. So when you get to the living room, circle up on the couch and beanbag area. Caitlin and Ryan are there to help you, and you have cards and pens. So, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for being. It's good to see you, 9th graders. Seventh and 8th, stand up and stretch. Reach as high as you can. Or sit and stretch, you know. Okay, you can have a seat. Bryce is taking this seriously. Did we lose some people? No? Okay. So last year was the first year that we made the change of having Pastor Bruce teach 7th and 8th and take 9th grade out of here, and I took him into the living room for teaching. Before that, what we used to do is that Bruce and I were both here the whole time. 7th, 8th, and 9th grade was all in here together, and we would alternate teaching. There's pros and cons of both. Part of why we made the switch, it's something that I had done at my first congregation, and as we found that you've been in confirmation for a couple years, you sort of need a change up, right? By the time you get to 9th grade, you need to be challenged differently. I'll be honest with you, you 7th graders are not as mature as the 9th graders. They got a couple more years on you. And you can just talk about things differently and whatnot. But the thing that I found last year when we started this is that it got hard for the fact that I hardly knew the 7th graders, and I didn't get any time to connect. So this year we are doing, I think, 3 nights where we're going to swap. Tonight we're starting a new unit on friendship. And we're going to talk about a lot of practical things today. I can guess, I would bet a lot of money that friendship for all of you is very important. That this is a topic that might seem like, why are we talking about this at church? And yet, this is something, and adults, I want you to look at me right now. Give me a thumbs up if this has been a hard thing for you throughout your life, friendship. Okay? Look at these adults right now. And the thing I will tell you is that it's surprising to me. Okay, I'm 45 years old. I really don't care. Age doesn't bother me at all. I thought that friendship would be an easy thing in my life. Like, I enjoy people. I don't mind talking to people. I make friends fairly easily. Like, I thought friendship was not something that I would struggle with. And let me tell you, I was wrong. Because one of the assumptions that I made about friendship is that the friends that I had would always be the same. Okay? Now, I can tell you that Pastor Bruce just talked about his wedding day, of the people that I had stand up with me at our wedding, there are only a couple of them that I still communicate with on a somewhat regular basis. There's one of them that I hardly ever talk to anymore at all, and her sister is married to my brother, so you'd think we'd be in better contact, right? But we just, time, distance, we just don't communicate anymore. And let me tell you another thing about that. Not only did it surprise me, it really hurt me, because I thought if I did something, if I worked really hard, then I would be able to keep my friends. But I'll tell you that you can only control yourself. You can't force anybody to be your friend. And those people that I thought that I would be really best friends with my entire life, that changed, that was almost kind of a grieving process for me because I was really close to them and I wanted to continue to make memories with them, and it doesn't always happen. Now, I'm going to call out the elephant in the room. These two guys are my kids, right? I know, you hate it. I know, you all know it, but I'm just going to say it. Yes, they love each other so much. So, we have 3 boys. Ben's a senior, Alex is in 8th grade, and then we've got little Drew who's a kindergartner, okay? I want you all to have a lot of empathy right now for them because this is really hard. Because I'm about to tell you some things about when I was your age, and we're just fine. When I was growing up, I had a best friend that she and I swore that we would never, ever marry pastors because we both were PKs, we were pastors' kids, and we saw how challenging it was for our moms to have a spouse that was a pastor. And so we made this pact, right? So we actually ironically ended up at college together, and then ironically, seriously, all of it's coincidence, she now lives in Delano, if you know Sarah Hopper Thorstead. She and I have known each other since we were like 3. She looked at me in college and said, okay, Kirsten, we promised that we were going to never marry pastors, much less become them. So when I'm not a pastor, but working in a church, I've done this for 25 some years, right? She was like, what are you thinking? It's like, you know, your parents sort of mess you up, right? And in good ways and bad. But now I can look back and I'm so thankful that I had that faith presence in my life, okay? So, just know that you might, you never know. So, here are my ground rules for sharing some of my faith story with you. First of all, this is my story to tell, and I'm not going to, there's no way you'd need hours for me to tell you my entire faith story. But when I share stuff about my faith story, I'm doing it because I have a trusting, loving relationship with you. So I don't expect, I hope that you will not go to school the next day and say, you're never going to believe what our youth leader told me, okay? That's the first thing. So this is in the context here. But however, you are always encouraged to talk to your parents, okay? And so what I would say is if there's something you want to tell about what I'm sharing tonight, that you would tell your mom and or dad or whoever your loved person that you lived with, and let them know that they can always come and talk to me, okay? So the second thing is that I point out the elephant in the room because this, whether they say they're okay or not, this can sometimes be hard, right? And you don't treat them any differently. Imagine if your parent was sitting up here, so enough said. And there's a third thing, but I'm not going to remember it right now. So, when I was in 8th grade, I started out the year very happily. I had a lot of good friends. The caveat is that in 7th grade, I was in a school district where I was the oldest, or I was the youngest. Our school was K through 6 and 7 through 12. Sort of like what you have now, only 7 through 12 was truly all together, and I was the youngest. Then, in the summer between my 7th and 8th grade year, our schools decided to, because of budget, I'm sure, combine, and Wells, Easton, Bryceland, Keister, Brush Creek, all these towns made this conglomerate and went from the Wells Easton Tigers to the United South Central Rebels. What that meant was, because they formed 2 middle schools, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I went from being in my hometown, 2 blocks from where I grew up from my house to the school, to all of a sudden in 8th grade being ripped from that environment, having to go on a 30-minute bus ride to imagine this, okay? I really want you to think what this would be like, because this is why my 8th grade was hell. You had to get on a bus for the first time and ride 30 minutes to school, And my 7th grade class was literally, I don't know how, but arbitrarily picked to go one half to Keister and one half to Bryceland. And some of my best friends, so Melissa Burke was one of my best friends growing up. I was Arvison. It was not alphabetical because I went to Keister and she went to Bryceland. So all these friendships, imagine if your best friend from this year, next year you don't get to go to school with them, okay? Not only that, in 7th grade I had my mom for science, which included 7th grade sexual education, okay? So it could be worse. There's that piece of it. And then also, she, at that point, got her master's degree and went from being a teacher to being a middle school counselor. So when I started in 8th grade, not only was she still in my school, she was the middle school counselor at the school that I was going to. So, again, I sort of like making friends. This is fine. I'm going to go off. I'm trying to make the best of it, right? I'm sort of angry and sad and all the things, but also a little excited. So, get to this school, make a bunch of new friends. Fairly quickly, I play volleyball, basketball, I run track. And the volleyball team in the fall, we got to know each other really well. We did sleepovers. We did all these fun things together. And during my basketball season, I have no clue what happened, but it was like a light switch. And all of a sudden, some of my friends started turning on me. I went from being a happy-go-lucky, sort of carefree, friends with everybody sort of person, to all of a sudden being someone that was being picked on, teased, to the extent where there was stickers on my locker, and they would sing songs on the bus, and it was brutal. I honestly did not really wondered if anybody would miss me if I was gone, right? I hated school. They were really mean, really mean. I can still name April, Nellie, Nate. I can name the people, and I'm 45 years old. People TP'd our house. So one of the first things I want to say is, please be kind. You don't know what someone's going through. You don't know someone's family situation. You just don't know. And I don't care if everybody else is picking on somebody, you damn well better not be doing it with them. I expect better of those of you that are sitting here, that you can be a part of the tribe that rises up and says this is wrong. No one should be treated this way. Because let me tell you something, I didn't want to live. And it was only January to May of my 8th grade year. Here's so I'm going to let you in on what it was, and this is the hardest part. I'm not 5'11" anymore, but I've been 5'11" since I was in 8th grade. I'm not a petite person. I sort of wonder if people did this because it was threatening to them, that I was making friends, I don't know what. But they started to call me a cow. So they would moo at me when I was walking down the hallway, blow up rubber gloves, put stickers on my locker that had images of cows. They would put milk, splash milk. It was back before you could lock your lockers, so there would be milk splashed all over my locker with the bottle on the floor, and I'd be walking up to my locker and know that it was there. They'd sing Old MacDonald Had a Farm on the bus over and over and over again. And imagine what that's like when you have kids then. Every time I sing that song, what do I think about? Now, it's taken me a long time to feel okay in my own skin. Part of why I've been able to do that is because I know my parents loved me. I had adults in my life in church that loved me. I had a community that surrounded me, and that's why, part of why this place is so important for you. It's why we want you here, because you're developing relationships. These are friendships that you're making, and it's hard sometimes. But you are developing friendships here that are going to help you in your high school years. Not only with each other, but with these adults in this room. Part of what we want in this friendship unit is for you to gain some skills, to get outside your comfort zone and talk to people that might need a friend. It's hard sometimes to go up to somebody and say, "Hey, how you doing?" But do you know what? If you take the time to look someone in the eyes and smile and introduce yourself or be kind in some way, it could make all the difference in someone's life. Now, part of why I did the game that I did in the other room is because one of the things that came to be a result of this super tough 8th grade year was that I went into 9th grade wanting to have friends and succumbing to a lot of peer pressure, and I got an underage drinking consumption when I was a freshman in high school. It was kicked off the fall play, the volleyball team. I got disowned by a lot of my friends that didn't realize. I had some friends that I was doing one thing with and some friends that I was church friends with, and then my church friends didn't realize, and they were so mad about the fact that I had been lying to them because they were making the choice not to drink, and I had wanted so badly to fit in that I would have done anything for people to accept me and think that I was cool. But that was a really hard, horrible choice. And I pray that it's something that you never put yourself through, because A, it's not good for your body. B, there's a lot of accidents that happen when young people involve alcohol. I was lucky for a lot of reasons, and if you ever want to talk more about any of these stories, I'm an open book. Again, I will repeat what I said in there, that I fully believe that talking about this stuff helps you to gain skills in your tool belt to keep you from doing it. It doesn't make you more curious and want to go out and do it, but helps you to see the adults in your life as people that you can trust and talk to, and also gives you some of the language and takes away some of the maybe mystery about it. Now, 7th graders, this may be totally off your radar, and for that I sort of apologize, because it's like, whoa, this is never something that I would ever consider. And yet, it's not, 9th grade is not that far away, and those 9th graders probably I'm guessing, have been in a situation where they've either shown up at a friend's house or, who knows what, been invited to a party that they know that there was going to be alcohol there. This happens. You can't put it past us that Delano is this place where this isn't happening. We've got good kids, and no, it happens everywhere. So I could talk about that scenario for a very long time. Things like making sure you have an adult that you can contact if you ever get in a situation. It may not be your parents, but you need to make sure that you have contact information for adults in your life that will help you if you get in a bad situation, right? Because you always can say no. Even if you're not saying no to friends, you can say no by texting a loving adult. Text me. Find my number on the website and text me. I will come and get you. But you don't have to say no to a friend's face. You can just say, oh my gosh, I just threw up in the bathroom and I need to go home. Make something up. I don't care, but stay safe and get out of situations that seriously, guilt by association. You could get a minor at a party even if you aren't drinking. And let me tell you, you will be off whatever sport you are in. You will be kicked out of a play. You will also, probably everybody in Delano is going to find out, right? Like, I grew up in a town of a couple thousand people, and that was on a weekend, and by Monday morning, everybody knew, you know? And my dad was the pastor, and my mom was a teacher. So, like I said, there's a whole lot more to my faith story that I could share with you, but I wanted to give you a little piece for several different reasons. But because we're talking about friendship, one of the hardest things in that 9th grade year for me was the fact that I felt so alone because the friends that I was drinking with, I wasn't hanging out with anymore, because let me tell you, after that I got in trouble, I was like, I'm not having anything to do with this anymore. So I stopped, and I couldn't go hang out with them anymore. And the friends that didn't know about it were so mad at me because I had lied to them, and neither one of these groups wanted to be with me. I needed a friend so badly, and I sort of just had to trudge through and like keep asking people to forgive me. And so you can be a friend in lots of different ways, right? You have good friends that you can be, you know, that you can stay friends with. You can make new friends. There might also be someone out there that you need to give a second chance. Okay? So again, know that you can come to me, ask questions. I am a support for you. I am a listening ear. I'm here for you, okay? Your grade is 8th grade year, not you as a class. You guys are fabulous. 8th grade year, how many of you felt like 7th or 8th grade was like your hardest years growing up, if you're really adults? Well, and even kids, yeah. I mean, it's brutal. So, hold on, just do your best to like keep doing your homework, do good in your sports, whatever, your music, be kind. Be friends to everybody. Try not to get into these cliques, but just try to like know everybody in your class and be friends with everybody in your class. Everybody can use a friend. And you will get through this, even if it is a really tough year for you. So, but know that you have adults that love you that you can talk to. Okay? So thank you for listening. Thank you for being, not judging me or just being loving and kind, and thank you for holding my story. Now, I'm going to ask one of the adults if they would be willing to role model with me meeting a new friend. Anybody willing? You just have to answer my questions. Whoop, whoop. Thanks, Rachel. I need to take a drink of water first. So, there is a curriculum that your guides have that's called peer ministry training. And if you can gather from the language of it, peer meaning that you are your peers, right? And ministry, it's like how you minister to your friends. And part of that is making friends and being a good friend. So tonight, we are going to learn an acronym called WHEAT. Repeat after me. Where? Hobbies. Experiences. And on the sheet it says events. So I kind of like experiences better though. There's actually 2 different E words, but we're going with experiences because that's on this little card that you're going to get. Acquaintances. And travel. So what I'm going to set up for us right now is that Rachel and I are in church, and it's the sharing of the peace time, okay? So you're in front of me, and we'll just pretend that, I am going to hold on to this just because. But I'm the one that's trying to, so you just get to be sort of the, yeah, I'm trying to meet you. So I'm going to show you, and quite literally, you guys, this is what I've known this acronym since college because I did this youth ministry training stuff when I got my degree, but I haven't thought about the WHEAT acronym for years. But I will say that I still do it even though I don't think about the acronym. When I see someone in church, I'm going to pretend like I've never met you before, right? When I see someone in church that I don't recognize, what I tend to do is say, hi, I don't think we've met. I'm Kirsten.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
Okay, so what's one thing you notice right there? Huh? She said hi back, yeah. What else? Can you make any observation from, we'll do it one more time. Hi, I don't think we've met. I'm Kirsten.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
There's something significant here that I want you to catch. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good stuff. I'm going to do it one more time. Listen carefully. Are you ready? Hi, I don't think we've met. My name is Kirsten.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
That's a piece of it. I always say that because if I say, well, I haven't seen you in church before, like what a guilt statement, right? Like for me, it's more like, I don't think we've met. I do say that because it's the easiest way to get me off the hook. Maybe they've been here for months and I just haven't met them. It's my way of like saying, this isn't your fault or my fault, I just don't think we've met, okay? But there's something else. One more time. Hi, I don't think we've met. My name is Kirsten.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
Okay, I'll tell